Hello everyone. So this video is going to be a little bit different. I was looking through some old notes. I like to write, and sometimes I revisit some old things that I wrote. Found this interesting passage, or this couple of pages that I wrote, and it's something I don't really talk about. I've had it in my mind for a while, and anyways, I found this very interesting. I call this a power of the unleashed mind, and right now I have it. I have another term for it, where I called it the universal mind. So the power of the unleashed mind. Many suffer from being stuck in the mind. We have circular thoughts. We're anxious because we have anxiety. We are in a state of fear because we were once scared. It is a circular loop. This is the ego mind focused on understanding and survival instincts. It constantly needs to know why and is preoccupied with staying alive. Most of us understand how this mind is tiring and it keeps us prisoner. So how do we get out of this vicious cycle? First, we need to realize that this mind, this ego mind, is actually looking out for ourselves. And I say that because the ego mind is telling us that we are not at peace. And by being scared, anxious, angry, it is showing us that we are not at peace. The ego mind is showing us, is doing us a big service by letting us know that we're not well. And because we're not at peace, it keeps reminding us that we're not in a state of peace, as I've just said. The ego mind will continue to remind us that we're not at peace until we finally become at peace. It is showing us our fears, our anxiety, our lack of self-esteem. And until we deal with these, the ego mind will continue to rule our lives. This is where healing comes in. We need to deal with these issues. So the issues I'm talking about is the anger, the fear, the anxiety, lack of self-love, so that we can switch from the ego mind to the universal mind. Once we start to connect with who and what we are, we heal, and this begins to calm the ego mind as we reassure the ego mind that everything is fine. So we're reassuring the ego mind that the universal mind has everything under control. It's got this. The ego mind doesn't need to worry because we're connected to the universal mind. So by doing this, we deal with the fear of dying. So by telling the ego that we have this, we don't have to worry. We will not die because of whatever, right? Because again, the universal mind has this under control. So we don't need to fear that we're going to die because of whatever reason, right? Or and also it can help us deal with we're not good enough. So we are truly infinite beings, capable of anything that we can imagine. And once we notice, the fear of not being good enough is no longer exist. When we realize we are energy, and energy never dies, we deal with the fear of dying. Then the anxiety. This is the result of not trusting in yourself and in life. And I would say, when I say in life, I would say in God. So we don't trust life or we don't trust God. Anger is another component of the ego mind. And frustration is often at the root of anger. Maybe things didn't work out the way we wanted. Maybe you didn't get what you wanted. Self-worth is often in the picture as well. When it comes to the ego mind, it always asks, am I good enough? Do I deserve this? There's so much more to the ego mind than what I just talked about. At the end, reconciliation is needed. Reconciliation, redemption, purification, transmutation is needed. We need to acknowledge the concerns of the ego mind and reconcile. This again is where healing steps in. Once we begin to heal, we start to connect with the universal mind and the overmind, the mind of God, where everything is happening as it should. The universal mind knows all. It is connected to everything. It's always at peace. It is capable of moving mountains. It's capable of anything that we can imagine. The universal mind knows who you are and what you're capable of. And it tells you, you've got this. It knows you can. So when you hear, you can't do this because ... it is the ego mind that is worried. Worries because it's stepping out of its comfort zone. It needs to stay safe in its box, the ego. Safety and security are the routine. No adventures here unless all the concerns are addressed. And even if we are able to address concerns, it still doesn't want you to step out of the box. Pacify the ego by the concerns by reassuring that the ego, pacify the concerns by reassuring the ego that the universal mind has this, and it does not need to worry at all. And that's it. So, I hope that you get what I'm trying to say and what I was, in a sense, tapped into when I wrote this. That if we're connected or stuck in the ego mind, it is nothing but a mess. And then we say, darn brain, it keeps me up at night and I can't focus and I get worried and got all these issues with this mind that's constantly on overdrive. That's because that we are not at peace. We're not connected with who we are. And it's just the ego mind is reminding you that you are not at peace and you're not connected with who you are. It is doing us a service. But we don't see it this way. The ego is saying to us, hey, there's something not well here. Come on, listen to what's going on here. There's anxiety, fear, anger, right? Frustration, low self-worth. All this stuff is going on, so you need to see what's going on here. Why is this happening? Why is it this way? And once we can connect with the ego, the universal mind, then everything is working in perfect order. Everything is working as it should. You're capable of doing anything that you want in life. That you are a creative force. And if we can continue to be connected to this universal mind, then we won't be saying the same thing, such as like, this darn mind is driving me nuts, keeping me up. No. Universal mind does not make you feel anxiety, fear, anger. It makes you feel perfectly fine with everything that's going on. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I know I enjoyed reading it again. Made me think. Made me contemplate and to try to see where I'm still not fully connected, or see where there is times where I'm not fully connected. So thank you for listening. If you have any comments, please feel free. If you like this video, like it. need to talk, send a comment. I'm going to start putting my email. Love you all. Until next time.